Yes, yes, yes. Hello, 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 my beautiful souls. Welcome back. Good evening, good day, good light. My name is Bexy Bex, and you are currently locked into Mind Over Matter Digital, your favorite poetry hub where spoken word meets hip hop and mental health meets music. We're going to jump straight into it today because personally, I've seen the open mic list and we've actually outdone ourselves yet again this week. We have an absolute powerhouse of poets for you today. So, quick note before we start. Mind Over Matter Digital is provided for your entertainment, absolutely free of charge. But for those who are able, donations are greatly appreciated. Mind Over Matter also has some like really dope merchandise. So head over to www.mindovermatterldn.com to see like the full range of hoodies and t-shirts and buy one. And if you can't provide any monetary support, because lockdown has locked up your bank account. Like I know for me, like I tried to sign into my online banking the other day, and Halifax asked me to re-verify my account. I'm like, I know I haven't signed in for a while, but how have you forgotten me already? Like, that's just so unfair. So if you're like me, likes and shares are free and greatly appreciated. So please send this live out to all of your friends, hit the subscribe button and the bottom click, you'll see like a little notification bell. Make sure you click that so you can stay up to date with all our live posts and all our shows. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our wonderful, wonderful poets. Please show some cyber love for our first open micer of the evening. If you're in the comments on YouTube, I want to see some fire emojis. If you have a favorite poet, don't be afraid to throw up some emojis and show some love. So coming up to the stage first, we have David Price in the building. David, are you there? Make some noise, guys, for David. David, the floor is all yours.
Cool. My head hurts daily, stomach knots by the hour, my palms sweat constantly, I'm a total coward. I hide from how I feel until I'm in my room, never let it out through screams of doom, muffled by a pillow that's pushed against my lips, so the world around can't hear the sound of my mind when it dips down into one of its low down states. There's no escape. If I tell somebody, they just ask me if I ate, as if my mind can come up with these demons on a full belly, or they recommend something to watch on the telly to distract me from the scheduled programming in my mind. I can only barricade these thoughts for some time, till sometime suicide sits in my mind. Don't know if it registered or if they were just blind to what that would mean if I had the gall to see it through. Nonchalantly shrug it off, let conversation continue. People tell me to talk, never tell them to listen. My feelings like Guy Fawkes, not very well hidden. Head's a cave, only one way to escape. I see light, hope is day and not the sight of what that lays at the end of the route. The unlucky follow through. I didn't ask, but how are you? And I'm sorry if I brought down the mood. That's just what tends to happen when you write with truth. Don't ask me how I'm doing, because I just might tell you. Don't ask me where I'm going, because I don't have a clue. Don't ask me how I'm doing, because I just might tell you. Don't ask me where I'm going, because I don't have a clue. Because usually I'm quite a quiet guy, and I seriously like the strong and silent type. So don't assume that shyness is the reason for my silence. So when I shut my eyelids, I'm reminded of the violence I've inflicted and endured. Maybe that's the reason why I've never been so self-assured, see? Because confidence in yourself is the biggest gift your family gives you. It makes everything in life seem like less of an issue. Open doors that you didn't even know you had to get through, because the biggest demons you can face are stuck there within you. But I've always had difficulty opening up, always seemed to struggle to seem to give a fuck. And sometimes my weakness is getting myself to shut up, because if my thoughts start spilling, I need paper pen. If I don't have these tools, then I'm known to use a friend. And fuck knows I have, and fuck knows I've learned. And I would say God knows, but we're not on speaking terms. Since the tables turned and my heart yearned for someone who could really listen with genuine concern, because heard that's all it takes. Conversation with a mate can make you sit back and reevaluate your mind state. Don't tell me how I'm doing, because I just might tell you. Don't ask me where I'm going, because I don't have a clue. Don't ask me how I'm doing, because I just might tell you. Don't ask me where I'm going, because I don't have a clue. Cheers for having me.
Oh. Woo!
Cheers, troops.
Wicked. Wow.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Like that chorus really spoke to me. Like, do you know how many conversations I've had and people have been like, how are you? I'm like, I've run out of ways to answer that question. Like same stuff all day, every day. Thank you so much. Absolutely, absolutely love that. We're going to move straight on to our next artist. We have coming up to the screen. I want you all to make some noise for Grace Pilkington in the building. Where are you? Give us a wave.
Okay.
The floor is all yours, Grace. Grace, if you could just unmute yourself.
Oh yeah, I think I've unmuted myself now.
Awesome.
Is that right? Hello. Hi, sorry, I'm not very pro on Zoom. That was amazing. I loved it. Anyway, my name's Grace, and I will do my poem, which is called Mistress Depression. She is there when I get home. I shut the door on pink skies, pollen, pims, and cucumbers. She gives no warning and needs no invite. She'll break down every door and travel every mile I try to put between us. I wasn't sure, but I thought she was coming because of a stickiness, fidgeting with flickering eyelids, shuddering and shaking and lying in bed awake until the moment of waking. Well, of everyone else waking. But I didn't think she'd come today, with the salmon sky and the strawberries doing splits on jugs of Pimm's and the sweating cucumbers. I'm standing at the door. I know she is inside and my breath is caught in the hallway. I want to retrieve it and put it back in my body, but it is slumped on the floor, defeated, unable to find the door. The stickiness is now what rains my throat like a slightly curdled coat of milk 3 days old. It's not right and I need light, but no light fills the flat, and I knew that. I knew no light would fill the flat. Her clothes are strewn across the floor and every curtain is shut. I look to my router, wires all cut. I hear her shriek, "You know I hate it when you try and communicate." I climb the stairs and find her sitting on my bed, brushing wiry black hairs which overgrow her head. They fall, scarring floorboards freshly painted white, while she sniggers with delight. I've seen her face before, but yet again I flinch and am appalled. Grey, it sags like a tired old Hoover bag. Oh good, you're back." She jumps up and ties me to the bed. Rumbling around in her surgical toolkit, she removes big steel pins, attaches my ears to my head, and covers them in thick cloth, so I can hear only swish, swash, swish, swash. Then she takes out a cold metal clamp and forces my eyes open, removes her pipette and drops in staining grey paint. Now, like her, I see no colour. Lastly, she fills my mind with dark fluff from her dirt-stuffed Hoover bag head. Rejoicing, she jumps on the bed. Now the conditions are right for my stay. I'm to be her puppet. She'll move my arms and legs, will nod and shake my head and even move my mouth to say things like, "I love you." And everyone will think it's me because they don't know, because she won't let me say that she's here, that she's come to stay. But then after weeks and sometimes months, the paint stings my eyes and they start to water. Giant grey tears roll down my face. Stop crying, she shouts, reaching for a pipette, frantically squeezing in more and more, but they keep watering. Murky streams down my face. They dry out, and days pass, and I notice her toothbrush is no longer in the bathroom, and one curtain is open a crack. And then one morning, I hear a bird chirp, and I run, panting, into her room. Left only are 2 black, wiry hairs on the white pillow. She has gone. I fill my eyes with all the colour and my ears with all the sounds, and try to put at bay the thought that she will come again to stay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Great. Wait, can I just ask before we give you a round of applause, who is she?
She's depression.
Oh, right.
It's
Amazing.
called Mistress Depression. So she's like, because when I feel depressed, it feels like there's someone coming to stay in my house. So it's like an unwanted guest. It's like so it's she's made up.
Yeah. That's amazing. That makes complete sense. Make some noise for Grace, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was absolutely brilliant. I had to ask because she sounds very rude. But yes, thank you, Grace. We are going to move on to our next open micer now. We have coming to your screen the one and only Jess Clark in the building. Give me a wave, Jess. Where you at? Yes. Make some noise for Jess, everybody. Woo! Awesome. Jess, if you could just unmute yourself and then fire away.
Sorry, I didn't realize I actually had the authority to do that, so I was just waiting for the command. Anyway, good evening everyone at Mind Over Matter. I'm Jess. It's my first time reading at this event and I'm very happy to be here, so thank you for accepting me onto the lineup. I'm going to read out a poem that's actually incredibly similar thematically to the last one that was read, although I guess, what do you expect from a mental health themed open mic night? I know we are limited to one poem. It's a pretty short one, short and sweet, but I just wanted to share a tiny bit of a poem that I've been working on as well that I really wanted to do tonight and didn't manage to finish in time. So if you'll permit me the slight deviation from the rules, just about how annoyed I'm getting with the media for constantly banding around the phrase, this great nation, kind of hoping that everyone's going to buy into this sort of outmoded nationalism, deflecting our gaze away from what's really going on in our country right now. So I just made up this rhyme today and thought it was quite good, if I do say so myself. This great nation is an unfounded proclamation that fills me with irritation. When we are more held up with our own cultural fixation with name and shame, blame games, shifting media-built altercations, distractions and reactions lacking traction, than contemplation of the worldwide ramifications of imminent West Bank annexation. Yeah, totally random. Anyway, now onto the real poem. So thanks for listening to that. This is called It Comes in Storms. It comes in storms, depression, a thunder swirl of pain. And then it clears, the sun appears, the torment can't remain. Sometimes the clouds are brewing at the edges of the day. The air's intense, full of its scents, so this will melt away. And when the clouds burst open, their blackness is a shroud. The pelting rain seems like it will stain. Its noise is screaming loud. The hammering crash of all my dread goes beyond what words convey. Is this within or outside my head? Will it ever go away? It comes in storms, depression, the worst unbidden rain, and then it clears and life appears, and more like me again. Now, this bout of rain has dried. The streets glow silvery bright. And though bedraggled, I'm here intact to turn my face to the budding light. Today I'm made of love, not fear, and this storm might make me cry. But I'm not a victim, I'm a buccaneer, and through its swelling tides, I'll fly. Cool. Thanks. Have a lovely evening, everybody.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I think the heart and soul of Mind Over Matter is to provide people with a platform to express themselves in a safe environment. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Guys are getting me all in my feelings. We're going to move straight on to our next open micer coming to the screen. So can you all make some noise for the one they call Trigger Bliss in the building? Where are you at, Trigger?
Cool.
Brilliant. Go for it. Unmute yourself and the floor is yours.
Oh, hi, my name is Trigger Bliss. This one is called Beaten into Maturity. I wrote this one in response to a post that I saw that said, dear adult children, sorry, your parents don't owe you anything. So this was my response in the moment while we're in isolation. So now here is a question. What is you beat me to teach me a lesson? Fast forward 20 years and I've learned it kicked off my depression, spun it into my blessing, but still left with the tension, uncontrollable aggression. And did I forget to mention, not all of them were justified. Go on, deny, tell me I lie. Keep in mind that I was just a child, or did my old soul cause you to forget? Nah, it was just yourself you were trying to protect. And I tried so hard to accept myself after all the neglect, the suicidal thoughts I tried to reject. Yet you were concerned for your respect. And I was just there like, why me? A 12-year-old writing, I want to be free. Trying to find some rationality in this catastrophe that's become my mind. I'm consumed inside. My heart, it cries. Triggers make me unwind, and no, I do not mean relaxation. I mean putting myself in extreme isolation. I mean constant irritation. Am I crying from pain or out of frustration? What was the lesson? Because you smile, so you love me, that means that you can? Am I ever to understand? Or only to speculate? See, I was born from hate, so you see familiar traits. Of who? Strangers sharing DNA. Damn. My mind's a state. So you still can't tell me straight, but can dismantle my face? You really saw those lessons through. Even through in a burns and a couple bruises. My introduction to love, was it false or true? I wonder on days like this. Thank you. You can follow me on Instagram at TriggerBliss.
Yeah, man.
That was incredible.
Dope.
That was actually insane. Thank you so much, Trigger Bliss. Like, that is such an important topic. Like, I don't even know how to start unpacking all of that. We don't have the time, but we do have a whole host of other shows as part of our Mind Over Matter platform. We have our resident psychologist, Anna. She hosts a mental health workshop and a Ask Anna segment on Insta Live. So make sure you're following us on Insta at Mind Over Matter LDN. That way you'll never miss out on any info, and the sessions are brilliant. Whew. Okay, so we are going to move on to our next open micer coming to the screen. So I want you to make some big Mind Over Matter noise for Terry in the building. Where are you?
Terry.
Terry in the building.
In the building.
Oh, it's been a while. Good to have you back.
Thank you. I am Terry. I go by words_flow. I'm going to deviate from my norm a little bit and do a bit more of a narrative piece. So this is called An Open Letter to MA. He told me that you knew, and the naivety of my love wanted to believe that it was true, so I blindly continued, knowing that it would only hurt you. knowing that your heart lived in a place as delicate as mine, and that you thought you'd found your home in the cavity of his ribs. But that home didn't exist. He made his home in so many places and fooled so many faces into believing that what he said was genuine. Pulled so many in with the eloquence of his words, making them believe that they would be first in line, leaving behind tortured minds and broken hearts that bled only in love. Except his wasn't love. His was a body ruled by love, lust. You would never have been enough despite the beauty you so elegantly displayed. And I read the words that fill your pages, and I'm familiar with the stages you must have been through. I used to be you. I used to lay between isolated sheets with thoughts on repeat and tears that ran a course of their own, waiting for him to come home, knowing that he made his home in multitudes of places. Empty spaces becoming so full of empty promises that they left little capacity to breathe. That used to be me. And experience dictates that I shouldn't have accepted his words so blindly, and truth is I didn't. My mind knew, and my heart didn't want to admit it. I knew on nights that he fell asleep on the crest of my shoulder by the crest of that moon, that you'd be wondering too where he lay. Waking the next day with a tear-stained pillow, a stark contrast to my smile, and meanwhile he had it all. He had love in all the corners of all the boxes he encased us in. I didn't know how not to fall for his charms and his arms that held a promise of love and forever in the premise of his lies. How to hold it together on those nights he whispered sweet nothings and I love yous that were nothing more than repeated lines from nights gone by with you. I knew, but my love left me powerless and breathless and suspended in a time that never truly existed. I should have resisted. I can fill pages with excuses and talk about how listless his love left me feeling, but there is no acceptable reason. He said your relationship was open. My eyes were open, but I closed them because the truth was too much to bear, and it meant accepting that he would no longer be there. I was selfish in my choices, and no amount of conversation with the voice of reason changed my feelings towards him. It was love, in its purest form, with no conditions and no remission to ease the pain. He momentarily stopped the rain, but as your tears fell, I felt the power of their storm. He had it all. I wanted it all. No doubt you did too. I used to think of you. I still do. And I'm sorry. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Like, what did I tell you guys about the caliber of the poets that we have in this building? Like, honestly, that was beautiful. What did she say? She said, I used to lay between isolated sheets. What? Imagery, guys. Imagery. That's what we provide for you here. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next open micer. Oh, this is a fave of mine. He also has a show, Beans, Limes. He would probably tell you the full title because I just butchered it. Apologies. So make some noise. Bring into the stage Benediction.
Thank you, Betsy. Yeah, I've got a piece here that's it's a work in progress. I've kind of like adapted it a bit to fit in with the 3-minute thing. So I'll get straight into it and then our family is always hasn't got a title yet. The year 2020 will forever be defined by COVID-19. How it dominated our daily news headlines, timelines, and television screens, necessitating major behavioral changes in the form of lockdown, self-isolation, and quarantine. This deadly disease is denoted as either COVID-19 or coronavirus, so called because when examined under a microscope, it bears spikes which resemble those you'd find on a crown. And the Latin word for crown is corona, an emblem which signifies a monarch when worn by its owner, appropriate when you consider how its clutches control us. Except the extent of its conquest can't be compared remotely to the Romans, the superior successor to the Sires who tried to take over back in 03, but now just look like court jesters and jokers. I'm sure back in mid-March, I was gripped by the hold of that sadistic monarch, no Ayatollah, but I was posted in my house with the sheikhs. as my head and heart pounded and ached, temperature fluctuating, going up and down like a crane. Later on, I spoke to a nurse mate of mine who likened the most severe cases to being drowned, and it made me feel fortunate to have found an escape, wondering if we'll come round here again, or indeed, whether it was merely a pretender to the crown that came in the first place. And I was sad that I couldn't see my dad on his 80th birthday. I prefer it if he could make his grandson's 18th, a release that he's still around for his 8th. While it might feel like we're faced with a dictatorship that's forced us to change the way we live, maybe it's not such a shame if we have to pump the brakes a bit. The irony is that everyone's Zooming now, but we're not going anywhere and our location's fixed. Maybe that's preferable to brazenly accelerating towards an inevitable crash when we've not braced for it. We need to think about Mother Nature more and stop behaving like her ungrateful kids before it's too late to fix that relationship. For too long, humankind has perched precariously on a precipice, waiting for the scales to tip, and too often the contrast and imbalance at play takes the piss. To compound it all, the V-Day celebrations gave it an even stranger twist, an occasion that's supposed to be about unity and commemorating those who were slain in the name of it. So any Tory Brexiteers flag waving make me sick, conga lines of lemmings heading straight to the cliff. Now I don't want to see the Queen, and I don't want to hear any speech escape her scaly lips when she's the head of a state that's content to let the poor die yet save the rich. And what a state it is. Yes, our NHS staff are heroes, but the narrative we're fed is that of soldiers sat in trenches to justify the fact that so many have sadly perished, as though these deaths aren't avoidable consequences of drastic cuts to budgets and mismanaged public spending, caps that can't be compensated for by any claps, no matter how well intended. So forgive me if I'm a little bit apprehensive. Bojo, we're not comforted by the quotas, we're not inspired by your quotes, but we could be if you actually meant it. Still, kind of feels perverse penning paragraphs during a pandemic, trying to muster up some of this memorable and anthemic, and trying to read more and study like an academic, run to up my cardio and become more athletic. I'm spending lots of time with my son and wife, they're angelic, but I don't want to raise him on this planet as man left it. Love to the doctors, nurses, paramedics, and key workers graft until the battle's ended. Thank you.
Oi! That was naughty.
Love,
was-
thank you.
Excellent.
Reggae air horns all
Thank
over the
you.
shop.
There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you. Mind if I do a quick plug? Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
Stuff.
So I'm hosting a fortnightly,
Oh,
not my account.
apologies, Benny. If you could start again, you were a little bit muted.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, sure. I'm hosting a fortnightly live stream. Yeah, just get in touch with me via the Instagram handle, and I can share more details with you. The next one's on the 6th of June and the 20th of June. Yeah, and if you want to kind of say a few words yourself, just let me know. They're an hour long. They happen on Instagram Live, and yeah, it's usually a good crack. So yeah, big up everyone, and see you soon. Peace.
Benediction.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Benny. So not only do we provide imagery, but we're also educational. You said the Latin word for crown is corona. Did you know that before you came here? No, I don't think you did. Brilliant. So thank you so much. We are going to move on to our next open micers. So I'm going to pull to the screen for you. Madalena, can we all make some noise for Madalena, please? Give us a wave.
Guys, can you hear me well?
Just unmute yourself, Madalena, and you're good to go.
Hi guys. Thank you for having me. My name is Madalena. It's my first time doing Mind Over Matter, so thank you for having me. Appreciate it. And I have a piece that's still untitled. You'll have to forgive me, I am reading as it's a fresh piece. In the hour of sorrow, when all seemed bleak, the path too narrow and the hills too steep, I found inside of my chest a switch. The light came in without a hitch. In darkness, my fingers sought to find what was always there, what was always mine.
the power to accept that even with the light, I still might lose my footing or my sight. What matters is, even during the rain, I stay afloat and not drown in my pain. Depression has been my best friend and foe. He tempts me away from shore to row, brings snacks, rocks, and braided rope, ties it to my ankles till I can barely hope to breathe in once before he pulls me deep, feel love again before its final sleep. You see, once I had a family, a big home, a place I felt loved in, where I could belong. But life had plans for me she did not share. I would have listened if she'd only care. I say I lost my father, then my mother, as if I lost them in the house and could not bother to look enough. I mean, where could they go? But no, you all understood, so sorry to make it awkward. Grief is shit. We still need to talk about it just a bit. There is too much that stays unsaid in love. If I knew, I would have gone beyond and above to tell them I love you every day till their final hour. But death is always early and does have final power. I grasp into the nothing, replay the last time. I held their hand and how small it felt when compared to mine. My dad, I lost when I was just 14. A decade later, yet feels as if it just has been. Woke up as my sister was screaming, he is gone. It was just 5 a.m., it was still dawn. My eyes opened as the world came crashing down. A full house, yet felt like a ghost town. Our family, though broken, had to keep walking. Tears spoke, but there was not much talking. Despite depression lapping constantly at my heart, I still held in me more belief than doubt that I could survive after Dad died, as long as I had Mom by my side. Time was unkind and gave me just few years. That last one, an amalgam of fears. I learned that cancer does not care for love, that grief is a door I seem to revolt. That day last August, I felt all was lost. She fought each day at such high cost. I did not think I would survive, or just not wanted to. Needed to rest my eyes, it was all I could do. Stayed in bed, replayed my past as a cassette. Wanted to remember and never to forget. Their eyes, their love, their smile. Thought maybe I would meet them in a while. But there is nothing I believed in that could promise there is an afterlife, and I'm such a doubting Thomas. I got up from the bed of memories where roses grew and chose life, as that choice was never given to you. I will keep going, though I'm unsure where. And with each step, breathe in more than just air. I found hope hidden behind the cloud, just enough to make you both proud. Found my voice hidden behind rhyme, and if enough notes to fill in the cruel time. I still wish you were here, if only one more day. But to honor you both, I must choose to stay. Thank you for giving me this heart. I promise to make this pain into art. I will forever remember our little quintessence. Promise one day to find me in the evanescence. And that's me done.
Died hard on soft bristle, died hard on.
About.
Thank you guys. Hope I didn't depress everyone too much.
No.
Not at all. Like, that was absolutely amazing. Like, thank you. It was so personal and so raw. So thank you for sharing. Like, every week you guys do this to me, right? I can't go 1 week without being in my feelings. Like, can we not cry at least once, please? But no, that topic is so important. And I think the whole premise of Mind Over Matter and why I love the platform is like, it breaks down the stigma of mental health and it widens the conversation. So in as much as depression is part of mental health, so is grief. And it's very important to talk about it. So thank you so much for opening that up on the floor. Oh, I'm excited. I like this show, I really do. We're gonna have another open mic for you. We're gonna have one more before we go into our little 5-minute break where we're gonna play a little song for you. But before we do that, we are going to bring to the screen, help me in making some noise for Oz.
Skirt, skirt.
Thank you
And
so
just
much,
unmute yourself.
everyone. Thank you. It's amazing to be here. It's my second time doing this virtual open mic. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna play you some tunes and sing. This is a song that is called Lost and Found, and I wrote it in a time where I felt quite lost in my life and a bit like purposeless, maybe. So I will leave it to you to kind of like, you know, feel it in your own way. And the keyboard usually doesn't really sound that good, but hopefully with my vocals, we will have something that is likable. Thank you.
Wake up to dream, love's within, and we lost our thrill. Moments afar, hours to last, time's not on our side. Touch me without love, it's soothing rhyme. Don't ask why I'm lost and found. Oh, how sweet it used to feel to fear nothing. Touch me without love, the soothing rhyme. Don't ask why we're lost and found. Don't ask why I'm lost and found. Don't ask why we're lost and found. Don't ask why. Don't ask why.
That was me.
That was mad.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much. Thank you. It's my socials is on my name. I think Oz Music UK. I was connected with that, I think.
Oh, I think you're frozen. Yeah, thank you so much, Oz. That was absolutely beautiful. Like, Madalena put me in my feelings, and then you sent me over the edge. I was on the cliff, and then you just pushed me right off. So thank you for that. Thank you so much. By the way, all of our acts, their socials are on the comments. So if you find your favorite acts, just scroll through the comments, and then you'll be able to find their socials and make sure you follow and support them. We're going to take a short mini 5-minute break now, so we can all recover from the awesomeness that was part one. I can see you guys in the comments agree how great that was. Shout out to Lynn Driscoll. She was very much moved by Madalena's piece. She says, "You were great, sis." Also, Bersina, who is an Oz fan. Alexandra, we see you. So keep the comments coming. We're going to let you go. Grab a drink, grab a beverage, but make sure you come back and make sure you connect with the artists in the comments while we take this short break. So we are going to play for you some music while you go and get your stuff. So see you guys soon.
The world's about to blow, and looking around for answers only leads you to a home. The Babylon arrives, they'll take away your life. I'm feeling Sarah reading how they stole away her life. And all I really know, the streets about to blow. It's bigger than looting shops and sitting around and smoking drugs.
off your life. We're stuck on the paper chasing, face it man, for real. When it's time for the revolution, all they'll probably do is steal your soul was cheap. It barely bought you something you could eat, but still you talk. You talk as if this world was at your feet, and all I know, the street's about to blow. And nothing that money could buy you will provide you with a soul. Them diamonds in your teeth, now they don't mean a thing. So raise your middle fingers once you've taken off your rings. It's bigger than sitting and spitting and written and thinking you're king of the hill. I figure the bigger the figures, the bigger the triggers to trigger a kill. And all I really know, we're falling like the rain. I'm more than about the pain, I must confess I see this game as slightly immature. If money was the cure, they wouldn't be taking taxes just to fund another war. And all that's plain to see is Babylon a rise. I'm thinking of Henry Hicks and how they stole away his life. And all I really know, we're falling like the rain. I'm more than about the pain, I must confess I see this game as slightly immature. If money was the cure, they wouldn't be taking taxes just to fund another war.
And all I really know, the world's about to blow. And looking around for answers only leads you to a hole. The Babylon arrives, they'll take away your life. I'm thinking of Leon Briggs and how they stole away his life. And all I really know, the street's about to blow. It's bigger than losing shops and sitting around and smoking drugs. So picture where we are, surrounded by the stars, preoccupied with jewelry and the latest fancy cars. It's all about to blow. It's all about to blow. It's all about to blow. All I really know. It's all I really know.
Holler at me if you ever need smoke. Everything's blessed cause I came with smoke. I don't fear flames cause I'm made from smoke. Fire and flames, that's energy smoke. Holler at me if you ever need smoke. Everything's blessed cause I came with smoke. I don't fear flames cause I'm made from smoke. Fire and flames, that's energy smoke. Free smoke, free smoke. You don't really want to kill a pen, stay active. Free smoke, free smoke. Fly sign man, I was made for the action. Holler at me if you ever need smoke. Everything's blessed cause I came with smoke. I don't fear flames cause I'm made from smoke. Fire and flames, that's energy smoke. I've been blessed with the power of speech. So how could you speak if you weren't born gifted? Misfit, never got raised in school, but I did gain wisdom. Listen, this one's here's for the kindred, brothers and sisters, lovers and spitters who never back down and conform to the system. Mumble rapping, ignoring the infant. How could you not understand the listen? The mirror you're in, spitting is living, you live it. If you don't live it, don't spit it. This I was smith on the rhythm, trigger my finger resistance. I put life to my pen, so never think pen has to live what is written up different. Holler at me if you ever need smoke. Everything's blessed cause I came with smoke. I don't fear flames cause I'm made from smoke. Fire and flames, that's energy smoke. Free smoke, free smoke. You don't really want to kill a pen, stay active.
Free smoke, free smoke. Fire sign guy, I was made for the action.
Holler at me if you ever need smoke. Everything's blessed cause I came with smoke. I don't fear flames cause I'm made from smoke. Fire and flames, that's energy smoke. You know what they say, can't handle the heat. Don't step in the kitchen, chef don't beat. Sauce in abundance, let's not beef. You don't know what's at stake, so let's not meet. Impactful with an asteroid flow, rock the mic till gravity rolls. Whoa, why would I take your style if I have my own? Oh, I don't even know why they think it's a matchup. When a match strikes, it's a mad one. Flames get thrown, if you ain't on smoke, better catch some. I don't mind sunning these guns till the dad comes. I don't mind teaching these pupils how to see a real MC. Most are blind, I don't fear MCs. I'm deaf to the dumb ones, so I don't hear MCs. If you ever touch mic, then prepare your piece, cause it's carnage. Hang on, you don't want to see me snap like Thanos.
Carnage. Hang on, you don't want to see me snap like Thanos.
Carnage. Hang on, you don't want to see me snap like Thanos. Carnage. Hang on, you don't want to see me snap like Thanos. Holler at me if you ever need smoke. Everything's blessed cause I came with smoke. I don't fear flames cause I'm made from smoke. Fire and flames, that's energy smoke. Free smoke, free smoke. You don't really want to kill a pen, stay active. Free smoke, free smoke. Fire sign man, I was made for the action. Holler at me if you ever need smoke. Everything's blessed cause I came with smoke. I don't fear flames cause I'm made from smoke. Fire and flames, that's energy smoke. You don't really wanted could have Penn State active. Lifestyle man, I was made for the action. Free smoke, free smoke. Free smoke, free smoke. Free smoke, free smoke. Free smoke, free smoke. Smoke.
It's gone out to the deadbeat daddies, fucking man children, consumer zombies, sleepwalkers. You know, basically the ones the rest of us spend our lives cleaning up after.
So much cowardice and foolishness, and what you can't take you seriously. Your temper tantrums drive me. Watch you go round and round in circles, wondering what you and how you waste your life away. Finally, dawn's on, sleeping through the storm. Or just dancing while the world burns on and on. And the only thing for sure is the punishment our children must endure. Because you never became a man. No, you never took a single solitary stand. Yeah, if I learned my lesson, and if I passed my sin would be to never trust another man again. Wade through a million fools to find myself just one true. Walk for eternity and find I'm at the start. No one to turn to and not a single soul to. The ones that speak the loudest always seem to be the worst. Sleeping through the storm. Oh, dancing while the world burns on. The only thing for sure is the punishment our children must endure. Because you never became a man. You never took a single solitary stand. And if I'm good, my lesson, and if I'm dead, my guilty, my sin would be never trust another man again. Back in the day when I knew you were so sure you were my friend. Now looking back, I'm trying to crack what happened. Woke up one morning, found nothing in common. Suddenly sick and tired of all your on and you don't do nothing, so shit don't change. You sit up on your problems and you whine for days. You're part of my past I wish I could erase, but you ain't having no more of my future days. Cause you're sleeping through the storm, yeah. You're dancing while the world burns on and on. And the only thing for sure is the punishment our children must endure. Because you never became a man. No, no, no. You never took one single solitary step. Yeah, if I
Controversial lyrics. Who can agree? Anybody in the room? Raise your hand. You're so diplomatic. I love it. I love it. Love it. Welcome back, guys, to the second half of Mind Over Matter Digital. If you missed the first half, like, you're off my Christmas list. Like, I say this every week. My Christmas list gets smaller and smaller when it should be getting bigger and bigger. So thank you for tuning in for the first half. If you were here and if you weren't, welcome, welcome. The comments are open. Make sure you drop some emojis for your favorite signs. I think there was a comment that was pointed out. Where is it gone? I just want to give a shout out to MT. He said, I don't know how I found this, but I'm not mad. I appreciate you. We need more people like you. So we are going to go straight into the second half, and it's going to be just as amazing and just as electric as the first one. So I'm going to need all of you guys to make some huge Mind Over Matter collective noise for the one and only Diliana.
Come on, Diliana. Representing Helsinki.
Yes, yes, yes. Am I in here?
Unmute
All
yourself,
right.
Diliana, and the screen is all yours.
Hello from Helsinki, if I'm allowed just one tiny alliteration. Thank you very much for having me. It's a great atmosphere. And thank you, Becky, just for the hearts and for the encouragement and for everything. Can we, I don't know if we can, maybe we can do this a bit later, but you know, yay for Becky. So I am going to read a slightly older poem, but it's quite related to mental health and something I've been thinking a lot about lately, which is expressing emotions. Seems to be a little bit difficult, and this is called Tears of Wine. I have a confession to make. I am a bit of a science nerd, and the physics stuff in this poem is all Wikipedially true. If you took a half-full glass of wine and held it up to the light, you could see a ring of liquid on the inside of the glass. Tiny drops form from that ring and slide back into the drink. This effect is called tears of wine. It happens because, Wikipedia says, alcohol and water have different surface tensions and they pull away from each other as the alcohol evaporates. It's physics, but I always wonder maybe even when and how and why the same applies to people. The thing is, there never were tears of wine on the sides of the glass in my father's hand. Maybe because it was vodka and neat. Maybe vodka doesn't cry the way that wine does. Maybe vodka doesn't have tears, or maybe because his glass was always full to the brim. And the room was full to the brim with silence that couldn't be drained. I don't know if alcohol and silence have different surface tensions, but they mix and hold tight. His glass was always full, no matter how many times he emptied it. No tears could form on the walls of that glass or that room. There never were tears of wine on the sides of the glass in my father's hand, but I sometimes imagine how spirit and vodka and water and silence came together in his rib cage, and the tension between the alcohol and what he pushed down, dead and deep, and denied the gravity of his life, the scars, the betrayal, the lies, the liquid, the bile that he never let come up. I imagine his tears form on the sides of his chest and slide back into his spirit. Or maybe there never were tears inside my father's glass or inside his chest, because if you took a half-full glass of wine and covered it with your hand, the alcohol would not evaporate and you would see no drops on the sides of the glass. And if you told a man that his tears were a weakness that made him less of a man and unlovable, you would see no drops on his cheeks, in his chest, or on the face of his daughter. It's just physics, really. It's just tears. Remember, I am a bit of a science nerd. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Read two more, and then
Liliana.
Oh my Lord. So that happened. You know what? It's funny. Like just before we came on, I was like, Liliana, are you ready? You're on next. She was like, oh, I'm a little bit nervous. Really, miss. And you come out with lies. I don't know if silence and alcohol have the same surface tension. You are very rude. Very rude. But
I am a bit of a science nerd.
A bit. Absolutely love it. I was a geek in school. You have all of my clicks. All of my clicks. So we are going to move on to our next open mic. So coming to the stage, we have, can you all make some noise for Mr. BYOB himself, the one like only soft spoken.
Thank you. You really want me to follow that?
You can try.
I'll try my best. A quick request. I'd like.
I'm sorry, Abdullah, if you could just unmute yourself one more time and then the screen is all yours.
Cool. Can I make a quick request? I'd like to share my screen if that's possible. Is that okay?
You're trying to make me earn my wage, sir. Let me see how this works.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
We're gonna lift it just for you.
Oh, thank you.
Only because you're awesome.
All right, I got to
How
make
about
sure.
now?
Yeah, it works now. Just got to make sure that it doesn't show up. Football Manager, which is what I definitely was not playing in the background.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Yeah. Right. So I was asked by one of my friends recently outside of music to write a poem or a spoken word for his album coming up. And it brought me back to this, like the poem inevitably came to this. So this photo is from Palermo. So if you go into the Royal Palace, like quarters, and you walk around, you see this ship over here. And this ship was found off the Mediterranean with refugees on it. Unfortunately, the refugees on it were dead. And around it was like scattered around it were like teddy bears and glasses of those people that had perished. So came up with this poem and it's called Palermo. Imagine you're a Mesopotamian, soon to be an alien, on the rough terrain towards the Mediterranean. Your mission? To get what used to be Arabian. The only thing between you and freedom is what's accumulatively, I'll say that again, because that word accumulatively, I can't say properly, I'll say it again. The only thing between you and freedom is what's accumulatively killed millions. At your destination, the natives are quarter-zillion, but the ideas seek refuge with your cousins in Michigan. And failing that, you'll settle for Britain and live with your sister in Birmingham. But all you want is peace and dignity for your children. So you claim your position in this new normal mere mortal, where the ones that drowned end up at a new portal, immortalizing the Atlantis of our collective consciousness. Anonymous are the victims seeking the promised metropolis, where the reckless are ruthless, the helpless are breathless as they cross the wilderness of emptiness and wickedness. Autonomous is the future that guides your thought process, though obstacles are limitless and the reality is ominous. So you smile at your child and pretend it's all okay, knowing full well the shore is still 20 miles away. But you, be brave, walk the waves, not like you can walk away, and who's going to upstage your attempts to save the day? Because the teenagers among you have a potential you can't delay, and the waterways are either risque or just a passageway where the pain sustained becomes a distant memory far away. If only this sea could quench your fire of rage. Well, now it's year 5 and somehow you've survived, and what terrorized your mind didn't cause your demise, and what doesn't kill was a trial that allowed you to thrive and derive a life where enterprise is recognized. But don't be surprised by what hides and connives. Bad advice and ill minds can kill your child with knives, and what was the sense of your paradise becomes the ultimate sacrifice, cauterize your bleeding eyes with the salt of the sea from which you arrived. And this is what you tell your child at his eulogy. The Mesopotamian lion guards the bridge from Basra to Birmingham, while the Celtic tiger slaughters evil by the diaphragm. Don't worry, young warrior, your time will soon come. Your enemies to defeat, thou shalt soon succumb. Stand tall and withstand this weary world's exam. Understand, young man, your part in the plan. You are a giant destined to lead these flock of lambs. Mediocrity shall never define your program. And that's me.
That screen share though.
I mean,
Yes. Soft spoken Abdullah.
why you like this, sir? Why?
I take inspiration from everyone around me. So yeah, you guys did it, and I'm just following your leads. Thank you for the platform, and yeah, that's me. Soft spoken but hard hitting. Put those letters in position, and you'll see that you need to stand to attention and listen when I'm speaking. Yes.
Okay, man gave us the whole outro as well. Okay. Oh my god, that was amazing. Like, if anyone knows me, they know that I love syllables, and I think he said Mesopotamia. So that, love it. And you changed up your whole flow as well. Reckless, ruthless, ominous. You know what? That's a whole conversation we'll have after the Zoom. Stay around, stay around. And you guys that are still here in the comments, thank you so much for sticking around. I'm just going to go through a couple. 1E, 1D, 1A1. That name is everything, first of all. He says, big up, Lynn Driscoll, we still see you. Sarah Ibrahim, appreciate you. This scarf has been on my head for many, many months, and it will stay there. So we're going to move on to our next poet coming to the screen. Can we all make some noise for Shaham? Where are you? Wave to the people. Make some noise, guys. Doberman, your ad-libs are everything. I'm just saying. Okay, Isham, unmute yourself and the screen is all yours.
Cool, good to go. Thanks very much. Yes, I'm Isham. My piece, hope everyone's kind of doing well, kind of during these difficult times. My piece is called When This Is Over, and I hope you can relate. When this is over, when cinemas reopen so we can go back to sneaking food into the city, when the football's back, when you can get your nails done and some of us need a haircut, but when this is over, when we open up after this lockdown, when we begin to heal the broken and the grieving, we owe it to them, those that we lost, that we don't go back to normal. See, normal undervalued and underpaid, normal shrugged its shoulders at kids going to school hungry, normal cut funding to our National Health Service, normal denied pay rises to carers and nurses, normal gave bankers bonuses while repossessing homes, normal shut hospitals while pharmaceutical companies made a killing. Normal is billionaires even existing while others struggle to make a living. Normal is why we're at where we are. Case after case while they try to flatten the bars. Then normal tries to fund our services with a bucket and a whip round. So when this is over, we're here to tear this shit down, this structure, this system fucked up, so no protest, no sit in or sit down. We won't stop till we hear the clip sound. See, at first, we're coming for war. They're making money off the blood of poor black and brown people abroad. Money to kill, taken from money to save lives. They fight in this war on the front line, no protection, no pay rise. Britain made its riches off empire, and that's how we got to the throne. See, then we'll turn to racism, and that's a bit more closer to home. See, still here, still strong, still preaching fear of the other, while people of colour working in the NHS literally giving their lives to it, fighting a virus, and they disproportionately die from it, and barely any mention of that in the printed press, acting improperly, a policy of reporting dishonestly. No mention either of the correlation of COVID cases to the incidence of poverty or inequality caused by austerity by those in authority, and fuck it. Whilst we're at it, let's take aim at misogyny. All countries with male leaders seen their COVID cases rise horribly, while New Zealand, Taiwan, and Germany combated it with successful policies. So no more. No more of this women can't be leaders shit. Been said for so long, people actually started believing it. Now our system so far deep in it, they trick us into keeping it. And we see you, big business, we see you in the contracts you're breaking, taking bailouts and tax evading, you stack the cash you're making, or your workers' backs are breaking, no sick pay, force them to come in, making millions off the hedge funds your friends were running. And finally we reach the boss now. These are the main guys. They who clapped for carers, but cheered when denying nurses a pay rise, after years of not caring for the poor, the young, women, the elderly, or BAME lives, got to the top winning elections by peddling the same lies. That's why it has to be Warsi. 37,000 deaths and counting is no success story. So stay safe, look after each other, and help where you can. And remember, we'll laugh and sing, or smile and dance and fight when this is over?
Are you mad? I want you to reload that all the time. Are you mad? Ehtisham.
All day.
Hey, you're our next MP.
Yeah.
Honestly, soft spoken told no lies. You are literally our next MP. Like, obviously we want to give people the stage, so I left him on the screen, but if you could see the behind the scenes reactions on the little grid, it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I love the synchronicity. I think soft spoken said something about this new normal, mortal portals, and then you were like, normal is why we're at where we are. Insane, absolutely insane. But I could talk about it all day, but I won't. We are going to move on to the best name ever. Make some noise, guys, for my hairy vag to the screen. Where you at?
All of my poetry is autobiographical. Another question.
Apologies, just bear with me 2 seconds. If you could just unmute yourself, and then the screen is all yours.
Okay.
We're back. Okay, so this
All
happened
who's?
a few weeks ago. I've been living here 5 years on the same suburban street. Down the road is an elderly gent who I am eager to meet. Quilted armchair, TV on, all alone in his front room. Desperate for some company. At least that's what I assume. I know what you're thinking, that's a stereotype. A lonely, saddled person smoking on their wooden pipe. Never did it cross my mind that he was happy by himself, satisfied in solitude and in immaculate health. I'm the lonely one, projecting emotions onto him, got that goddamn savior complex, wanna help out and swoop in. Years go by and I wonder about that old guy I yearn to know. But never did our paths cross. Well, not till 5 weeks ago. Lockdown had begun and I knew just what to do. Gotta help out my old neighbor. A sense of purpose in me grew. I printed a template from Instagram, popped it through his letter flap, outlining things I could help with, shopping, cooking, a friendly chat. To my surprise, he called me. I nearly jumped up with pure glee. This was my Werther's original granddad, and I would be his best buddy. So the call was shorter than I'd expected, and he was more capable than I thought. He didn't need any help, and he hadn't lost the plot. Days turned into weeks, and I hadn't heard back from my old pal. Maybe he was too shy to call, loath to disturb this blithe young gal. I know, I'll put him at ease, jump the gun, give him a call, whilst waving outside his window. That won't be creepy at all. Well, guess what it was? My plan had gone tits up. I came across like, it was so horrible. I came across like Jack Nicholson from The Shining instead of that cute grandkid from Up, which was my intention. I'd ruined our friendship, dashed it all during this lockdown. I was too keen and too presumptuous, and my number is blocked now. Since then, every Thursday night at 8, when he goes out to clap on his stoop, I hide in shame in my backyard and let out a solitary whoop. That's it from me, guys. Thanks for having me.
Funny.
That was fucking jokes, man. Jeez.
I'm such a creep.
I'm in stitches. That's wonderful.
Like, you're not allowed to do that, miss. Like, this is on the internet. The internet stays forever, and I'm just here going, that was hilarious. Oh my God, absolutely love you. And your t-shirt as well. Can you step back and show us your t-shirt? Hold on. I'm going to ping your screen real quick. Amazing. Love it. Absolutely love it. That was my hairy badge, guys. I bet you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, please do drop some fire emojis in the comments, because that was just too much. Lynn Driscoll, I agree, that was hilarious. So we're gonna move on to our next the guy with the best ad libs throughout the whole night. So I want to hear some extra noise. You're allowed to cheer for yourself as well, Doberman, because you have ad libs. I like it. I'll do it for you as well. So can we make some noise coming up to the screen for Doberman?
Woof, woof.
Modest ad libs there for myself. Cheers to team. Big up everyone locked in.
Okay, doke. Just unmute yourself and the screen is all yours.
Okay, sick. Hope everyone's good, man. Yeah, I wrote this little piece right here. I think it was towards the end of last year. So not really kind of inspired by lockdown or anything like that. Just about sort of wanting to be transported away. So I thought it might be appropriate for certain listeners at the moment. Yeah, it's called Galaxy Bars. Hope you like it. I love you, planet Earth, but you're a crowded place. I'd be lying to say I hadn't had my doubts of late. I feel like I've been running out of space. Thought I'd get out and escape, so I'm on a break in outer space. And already I'm in love with this quiet scene, where every little step I take becomes a giant leap. No G-force, just free thought, propelling me towards interplanetary orbits that seesaw my silvery sleek form through vast and expansive deep. This galaxy, my intangible black satin sheet. More I unravel it, the more it unravels me. It's been fun to explore since I had a spat with gravity. But thankfully we parted ways on good terms. Now I don't feel as held down by the weight of the world. All I've ever wanted was to be somewhat big and excel, and I'm not stopping at the sky. Why limit myself? Back on Earth, I thought that diamonds were rare. Now I'm finding them in such a huge supply, it's unfair. So much beauty lurking in this universe, and we're stupidly serving to pollute and burn it all for nothing but pursuit of earnings. Foolish earthlings, we forgot on what's instinctive. Quarrel with existence, economics and statistics to monopolize commodities and prosper from a system that's trodden on the produce of this rock on which we're spinning. So fuck the cost of living and conspicuous consumption. I'm on a cosmic mission, steer the ship and hit the thrusters. Passing comets through from supersonic up to light speed, fluent in the language that the zodiac signs speak. Hey, I'm that notorious rocket dude, burning out the last of his fuse in solitude, planting my flag far and wide, long gone beyond the moon, euphoric as Elton John was in his meteoric youth. I can be me out here, I feel free out here. They say no one can hear you scream out here. Plus, I'm the only MC out here. So the only company I need is a beat out here. I dig in moon craters for new flavors from space age tune makers, crooners and ravers, my lunar suits tailored. Head in the nebulas, my hands in the stars. It's that interstellar fella rapping galaxy bars. I feel like life's begun. And this is where my happiness starts. Till I fall back to reality, smack bang on my ass. Cheers, big up. Thank you.
Come on. Real MCs out here.
Safe, everyone, big up.
Real MCs out here.
Did not disappoint, sir. You did not disappoint. That was awesome. You're awesome. Awesome. Doberman did not disappear. You did not disappoint, sorry. Shout out to Mike Hinchcliffe. He said woof. I don't know if that's an inside joke, but I get it.
That's my guy. He knows me. It's a personal joke. Don't register it, son. It's cool.
Can I? How do I join part of the team? Like, I want to be a friend too. Like, where do I sign?
Rigorous screening, but we'll talk about it after.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Shout out to Mark Livingston as well in the comments. We are going to keep going to our next artist. We have 3 more open micers left for you this evening, which is sad but great because they're all amazing. This one comes all the way from Leeds, so can we make some noise, guys, for Adekola in the building?
Leeds in the building.
Yes. Good to be here with you all. Hope you're all doing well. Doberman, that was sick.
Apologies. Sorry, if you could just unmute yourself and the screen is all yours.
Hello. All right, we're in. Good. Yep. Abdullah Adekola here, live from Leeds. Hope you're all doing well. Doberman that was sick. Let's get to it. This is called Power On. I wrote it a while ago, but I remixed it in the last like a week or so to reflect what's been going on. Power On. Please excuse the panic. It was my first pandemic. It's hardly been a holiday, more like a lockdown. Dark days and hard times will come, a matter of when, not if. And when they do, I will tell you what they told me. Feel the emotion, don't become it. Don't be racist or listen to conspiracies. Be critical about power, privilege, and how we treat people, about race, class, and all that jazz. Be caring. Hold on to humanity. Hold our leaders to account. Breathe in, breathe out. While you're stressing, count your blessings. Watch your health, get some help. Stay alive. Support science. Look alive. Pray on and play on. Push through. Power on. When you face bad health, poor wealth, and see death, when you feel stuck, bad luck, no direction, love, or affection, know you're not alone. Stay alive. Look alive. Keep going. Push through. Power on. Power on. Power on.
Yeah, man, tell him.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Muchas gracias. Gracias, gracias.
That, like, Adekola, you came through with the affirmations. Push through, stay healthy. I love that. Stay safe. Ooh, your open lines. Please excuse the panic. This is my first pandemic. Bars. So thank you so much for coming to the stage. We are going to move on to our next open micer. We have coming to the screen for you beautiful people, Timo. Where is you at?
Gang, Leeds in the house.
It's another lead.
I know,
In
we've
the
had like a
building.
lead triple.
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
What's about? We're taking over.
Okay, Timo, if you just unmute yourself and the screen is all yours.
Mute. Go on, unmuted, yeah. Thanks. So I'm T, I'm a poet and a painter. This is the only piece of writing I have nearly finished since lockdown started. So no pressure on anyone else to do anything at all. Did we want to make this world a better place? Because I look at myself through toothpaste pocked mirrors, no hurdles hurtling towards my face. And I mean, the shit has hit the fan, but it's relative. And now we're all leveled out. This is man who suffers the guilt that follows the knowledge that when gifted with the present, you can, and you do, choose not to make a change. As each good thing becomes a pressure in itself, just the action of keeping the acquired. I've seen many great queens regress to lesser of themselves, losing faith in the fleeting of the inspired. Stuck in the narrative, the tall tales you keep telling yourself. Just like your daddy did, your pally with them, tally them up, rally them round. Sally gave up and Emma, she drowned. All these could-have-beens are nowhere to be found. All these should-have-dones, they're wearing me out, and I would have, but those words are poison out your mouth. The choices you make now will define you. Your attitude, it's always got the power to undermine you, and nobody's hiring scouts to crown you. If you believe in you, astound you, you build fragments into mountains. You don't take tokes, you blow smoke fountains. You are not the microphone, you are the mouth. You feel it in here, you shout it loud and tear away those doubting shrouds, because they are so lucky that they ever found you. But get stacked and get ruthless. Give back when you've got something to give. Nobody's holding your hand and nobody lives. Nobody's holding your hand, nobody lives. And why do you hide those roots underground? Why only show your flowers when you toiled in the night and you fettled and you cried? You walked miles talking smiles in every petal. You took pride, you never settled till you tried, and no one could change your mind, so fuck the narrative. Those tall tales you keep telling yourself, they're fucking damaging and harrowing. You're slipping and you're scrambling, you panic and you stagger in, dripping in shame, dragging fingernails across each frame, scratch in your name, and don't ask me where I'm going again. Thanks.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Doing it.
Hello, Teresa.
Make some noise for Timo, guys.
Teresa.
Hey.
Like-
Also, oh, can I do a really quick plug?
Yeah, sure. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Plug away.
So because basically I've just been inspired by all of you guys throughout the years, and I love you all and I've learned so much from you. I've got a little Instagram show going up tomorrow and every week. It's a no judgment expression session. So everything you want to talk about creative wise, every project that you want other people to know about, get in touch with me because I want to support you all guys like you have done myself. And that is it.
I'm there. I'm there.
Emo.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Just make sure you put the details in the chat so I can follow later. That was beautiful. Timo, we are going to move on to our last, but by no means least, open micer. It's been such a great night. I feel like it's going to get better because we are going to bring to the screen the one, the only, the one she has been doing the best back and behind the scenes imagery ever. So can we all make some noise for Holly D, please?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Just bear with me 2 seconds and unmute yourself.
Amazing. Hi, I'm Holly D. Thank you so much for sticking around to see me. Scary to be last. Everyone's been incredible. So I hope I do everyone proud. This piece I wrote 8 years ago, but I still feel it's quite relevant and I want to share it for you. This is called Laces and Cases. I want to tell you about a place where shoes have no laces, pillows, no cases, often whole families, no faces. It's a place where time drags slow. There's nowhere to go and you're stuck there. Everyone's sitting in a chair, watching the television as if by superstition, doing anything else would bring about bad luck, or ironically ill health, yet day after day, they're still there, they lace eyelets and pillows bare in the clinic for mental health care. I want to tell you about a place unlike Janelle Monáe's tightrope music video. Think more Girl Interrupted with Angelina Jolie, just minus that Hollywood sheen. The clinic itself is incredibly clean, but believe me, this is not living the dream. Some visitors stop by to say hi over tea, others stay longer and grab a bite, but many are in for another long and lonely night. I want to tell you about a place where people have been through situations and events that maybe you and I are lucky not to have gone through. Statistics say 1 in 4 suffer with mental health conditions. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Are there days you struggle to get out the front door? I mean, I'm guilty of being found weeping in a heap on the floor, but for me, it's my brother going through a situation that's pretty raw, and I've realised it's closer to home than ever before. So the next time you see someone you think they're a little bit crazy or socially lazy, take a moment. That person has lived a life. They're someone's father, sibling, or wife, maybe someone you know, sitting in a chair, watching the television under constant supervision, suffering from a mental health condition alone. Maybe that person you saw at the bus stop is actually making progress. They've been through some shit. Don't judge them. Please spare all these people a thought the next time you're tying your laces and putting your pillows into cases. Thank you.
Oh, what a way to end the show, Holly. You kept that quiet, didn't you? Stay back. Oh my Lord, thank you so much. That was a beautiful ending to what Mind Over Matter is all about. So thank you so much. And thank you everyone that's been in the comments and stayed with us this whole entire time. And thank you for everyone in part 1. Thank you for everyone in part 2. And thank you for everyone that's to come in the future for future shows. I've been told by management that I have to do a poem. So I'm gonna say my goodbyes now. And then literally as I end the poem, I'm just gonna leave the chat. So thank you guys for sticking with us. Make sure you come back. We're here every Tuesday. We do also have a lockdown lullabies session. So it's the same as open mic, but it's with singers. So make sure you're going to tune into that. The only way you can find out all this information about the workshops and Anna Sinsky, our resident psychologist, and her workshops is to follow us on Instagram at Mind Over Matter LDN. If you want to share the platform with your friends, make sure you go to the website, send them the link, www.mindovermatterldn.com, and buy a t-shirt, buy a hoodie. I heard they've got new colors. So I am going to do my poem and then we will sign out, guys. This piece is called Tribute. It's also on my Instagram, so shameless plug at bedroompoetry_. As a kid, whenever I got angry, my father, he always taught me to take a deep breath and count backwards from 10, 9. So maybe it's no surprise that nowadays I always seem to be one step behind, like I 8, 7. If it really is on earth as it is in heaven, I wonder if the heavens spin anti-clockwise around hell like 6. How do I turn this wine back into water? How do I breathe your laughter and make smiles from your footsteps? Have you ever seen a rose bleed to death with its own thorns? How do I connect to this third dimension when it's made of broken liquids? How do I make arms long enough to hug all 4 corners of my commitments? Because I can't even commit to your memory. Like, I mean, when it comes to the anniversary of your death, I don't really like to talk about it or write a poem every single year, but it would appear that today it lands on Easter Good Friday, so I figured what better time to resurrect you. I'll have to admit, in the past, there have been times where I've actually forgotten the date, which makes it really sound quite rotten, but considering the state that I was in when they first told me that you passed away, I think it was like mid-morning on a Sunday, and there were just so many people packed into this tiny 4-bedroom house that by the time I had sifted through all of the crying and the confusion, lifted masks off the ones that were lying and using this news to feign their affection for us, I didn't know whether it had been 12 hours or 11, but it really took that second for everything to finally sink in. So now I make goldfish of your memory, and I cherish the 5 seconds that for a moment I forget that you're dead, then I think you're alive and you're sitting with me. But even though I know that you can feel me, I'm still scared to speak to him. So easily my voice is lost between his frequencies. I rarely ask other people's opinions for fear of replacing mine with theirs, for fear of having their stares pour into me and my independence forced out of me as if it were water in glass jars being held under open taps. And it feels like I'm wrapped in this backward tide. I mean, have you ever known the tide to take its instructions from the sun? And have you ever sung with your neighbor's tongue and felt their sound waves on your fingertips? Because I feel your pain in my wrists. These wrists are so limp that I don't make it all the way through your Instagram stories sometimes. These arms, they barely make it halfway out of the duvet at times. I feel like my mind rests in these bed sheets made of metal cotton, and I'm continuously dreaming of falling, and at night I fall into you. And falling into you feels like leaning on marshmallow walls, relying on elbows that know nothing of funny bones, which is so frustrating because like I'm pretty much the most optimistic person that I know. I mean, on my good days, I feel like I can exist on 2 planes. In this matrix, I am both Morpheus and Agent Smith. I am that blue pill that you read about. On my good days, my thoughts are very tactical. There's this magical geometry in the way my brain lays it out and maps it all into this picture perfect kind of beautiful, but a picture can tell 1,000 words, and some of those words, they shape my bad days, and these words, they cast a shadow that I dance with behind these bars like contraband. My hand is too small to fit the size of my palm, and the destiny with which it holds, cradling these bad days on my bad days, my thoughts get quite theatrical. There's this heavy pain that's buried deep inside my clavicle, making hunchbacks of this dame, so it's easier to shield my shame and hug my ugly a little bit tighter. On my bad days, I feel empty. And in 2020, these bad days, they come so often that I don't even have them anymore. I just have good days and normal ones, and on my normal ones, I tend to question everything that's good. Like, for example, my ex, my Bex, he used to give me butterflies every time he would sing me our song. But I couldn't help but question, maybe these butterflies were never yours to give. Where did you steal them from? These bad days, they come so often that I don't even have them anymore. I just have good days and normal ones, and my normal ones, I tend to question everything that's good. Like happiness. I mean, they keep telling me that happiness is a choice, but if happiness is a choice, then when did I choose to be sad? If happiness is a choice, then when did mine become a lost voice on a ballot that I did not vote for, or programmed into a device that I do not have the remote for? If the happiness in a user can be created or configured, then when did depression become my default setting? This has been Mind Over Matter Digital. Thank you guys. See you next week.